I write things that I want to like perform in, which
Yeah.
is a struggle because I sit here and I'm like, I want to do exactly what you're doing, but I have to tell you what you're doing, and it's so I wanted to explore the jumps between the mediums of text, like poetry, contemporary writing, and Shakespearean, and just kind of like see what changes there. And like the guys have actually adapted to it quite well. Like there isn't this like, what am I doing now that it's poetry? Like what am I doing now that it's Shakespeare? Like I just don't, like they just kind of power through it. And that's exactly what it needs to be. It's kind of like bleeding the languages into one category and just treating it as like a whole. It's like treating it as just kind of like this one new language.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
This one, not necessarily. I think with the last one, Dragged, there was definitely like similar events that happened in my life and like similar ways of reacting that I definitely would react. So when directing that, I was, you know, a little bit bent on people having their different visions and me just being like, that's not how I've written it, but okay. But yeah, now with this one, being less attached to
The storyline directly.
this storyline directly and the events that are happening in it, like I definitely am open for people to have their new like creative vision, have their own little portrayals.
Good.
Because like it's a work in progress as well. Like the script isn't entirely finished. There's so many room for improvement. And like now when I finish scripts, I'm just like, I still go back to them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, nah, this needs to finish. Like this needs to be different. Like, I'm like,
Let it go, son. Let it go.
yeah, I'm
Just let it go.
always changing things. Sometimes not for the better, like myself.
True.
So yeah, does that answer the question, Ellen?
Yeah,
it does.
You're doing good.
Yeah, cool. So it's not really like, of course, I'm the one that's like, this is what we're doing, but then when we're playing around in rehearsals, it's definitely what everybody kind of wants to do, which is, I think it's a good environment to
It's a
be
really
in with a
healthy
new work.
environment. There's nothing better than working in a space where you feel like you can be creatively heard and your ideas are put forward and you know, run with. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah,
It's healthy.
true.
I think because Andy and I have always gotten along very well and we've always been very, I think, linked when it comes to when we've been very linked when it comes to creative sort of processes and ideas and working together, we do it very well. So I think it was, I don't know, it's a good opportunity to always work on stuff, even if it's not like your primary skill, because I mean, like I'm acting and directing, that's what I love, that's what I do. I'm kind of newer to directing, but you know, it's been nice being here because I sort of still get to like just do a little bit here and there, just kind of like over your shoulder,
Sorry, just
playing
burped.
the devil. It's disgusting.
That's gross.
But stage managing and all the skill sets and things like that, it's cool to learn. So I've done a little bit of stage management in the past, but it's always fun and it's such a beautiful play. And I think that seeing such a wonderful cast as well, you can't say no to a good cast. Like
No.
We all do that because you know having fun is.
We are a good little team here, to be
It's a
honest.
good team. It's a fun team.
Nobody hates each other. I mean, Ellen, sometimes I hate you, but you know. It's actually,
It's a lie.
what I will say is that it is actually really good having you here because, like, not only are you like the master of organisation, which I suck at.
You forgot the stools for today.
I forgot the stools. Because you have obviously studied a lot in feminism and obviously a lot in literature as well. So you know a lot about the language and you know a lot about how this female character needs to be portrayed. And of course, like as a male, I will never understand what it's like to be
Thank
female.
you for acknowledging that.
Oh, absolutely. But like, yeah, so it's good that I have this idea and then and every now and then I get a bit like iffy. I'm just like, is this the correct approach?
And
Like,
I think that's what also, I know Natalie Vanatachi, who's playing Ophelia, I know her, she feels really good about the fact that we sort of stop and investigate whether what we're doing is working for not only the character but for like us as viewers and us as women, because like I think the whole idea of this story, Ophelia, is to investigate her deeper in terms of being this strong, independent character who is misunderstood and misheard, and her voice is kind of muffled by the patriarchal society in which she lives. And so I think it's good to know that we have this freedom in Ophelia, in O, to redirect her story and redirect her voice in a way that is more tangible for audiences today, and also to make her more prominent, because I mean she's not exactly in Hamlet that much when it comes to her being on stage. Like even the thing like her death, like when Gertrude does the monologue about her death, Ophelia is never present for sort of, we don't see her death, we don't hear anything else after Gertrude sort of says she's gone into the muddy waters and she's dead.
Yeah.
So I think it's beautiful to end a play such as this with her kind of, yes, dying, but also in the same way she's becoming free of the sort of imprisoned life she's lived. So it's very interesting, and it's very, very artistically satisfying.
Oh my God, that was like the best thing that like I've ever heard in a morning ever.
I'm too tired, so probably none of that makes sense, and I'm really sorry.
Like Sunrise and the Today Show could not compete
Eat
with
my
what you've
shorts.
just... Eat my shorts.
Bart Simpson quotes, because that's how tired I am.
Tracy Grimshaw, you ain't shit.
You ain't shit, Grimshaw. I think that Ophelia's... I mean, it's very interesting because Natalie played Ophelia a while ago. But I saw that production. It was kind of when I was in, I think, high school.
Ooh.
It was a while ago. And I loved her
50.
Ophelia portrayal then, because she was so strong and she was so determined, and at the same time, even though there's so much weighing against her, Natalie played it in a way that you just felt like she had a spine and she had hope and she had drive. And I think not a lot, but I have seen also productions where Ophelia is played a little bit more sort of like vague and dainty and a bit less, a little less fiery. And I think personally I love a female character who has guts and has like gusto and interest. And I think because of the way that I've seen Natalie play it and the way I saw her play it so many years ago, I've always sort of seen Ophelia as that strong, sort of independent woman.
I just got to get the crabs off of my coat.
Oh, no.
Okay.
This is Andy.
Hi.
I'm not Andy. Cheers.
Not Andy sounds like a really good Italian name for a woman. Not Andy. No. I don't think it does.
Oh, my coffee nearly went everywhere.
Give the people something to work with, man.
I'm getting a phone call. Should I answer it?
No, you should have it turned off.
This isn't rehearsal.
We're on set, though.
This isn't set.
This is professionalism. It could be
Say
a dance.
Cry.
It could...
This isn't professional.
Haven't you ever heard of the art of professionalism? Are we losers? It was really well established in the 1980s.
Oh, fuck.
Most commonly found
Okay, no!
on one. So, no, hang on. On or after one? After one.
Yeah.
How do I get a boyfriend? I'm being dead serious. And the question is, Ellen Rowe, are you listening? You can't phone a friend, you can't go 50-50.
You've literally just spoken for 3 minutes! Just about this!
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, you're not doing anything. What is my mouth doing?